What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at more OP05, and today we're going through green. Now, this is one of the SP cards. We get a green one, and it's Yamato. And not only is it Yamato, it is Yamato from OP01. So, it's a very good card. It comes with double attack and banish. Very, very strong. So, this is a parallel for that. Now, moving on, our first leader in green is Corazon. It's green and blue. Now, very, very good character. Everyone loves Corazon. Now, I think there's two ways to look at the effect. It's a blocker, right? But your leader is 5,000 power or more. So some people, yeah, I mean, like you'd think, right? Like if you could probably it's useful just to protect like low cost characters that are like 3k or 4k. And if your opponent swings with like a 4k swing or below, then this works well. But there's a lot of decks right now that don't attack into life and they try to clear board. So you could just block with him and take a life to prevent that. So I think this card has a lot of potential, but it's very tough to compete with a lot of the hard, tough decks in the meta. But end of your turn, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, set this leader as active. So you can still swing with it and then restand it to be a blocker, essentially, right? Then we have Virgo, 3 cost 4k, Dawn times 1 when attacking, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. I'm very excited about the Don Quixote package because I've been enjoying OP04, Green Purple Doflamingo, and we get some good cards this set. So 2 cost 2k, blocker, that's pretty much it. Gladius, 5 cost 6k, activate main, you may rest this character and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So it basically rests a blocker, or anything really, and you can maybe even use it to get rid of some pesky low power cards. But cost of 3 or less, it's pretty good. Sarquis, Dawn times 1 when attacking, once per turn. You may rest one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more and set this character as active again. So you could get a double swing in, basically, which I think is pretty neat. Trafalgar Law, 1 cost 2k. Activate main, you may trash this card and rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. So again, getting rid of the blockers, I think this is pretty good. And it's Don Quixote Pirates type. And we got Don Quixote Doflamingo, 1 cost 2k. You may trash this character, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 2 or less. Don Quixote Doflamingo, excuse me. This is the adult form. 7 costs 8k. On your opponent's attack, once per turn, pay 1 Dawn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less. This is pretty crazy. Like, this is pretty crazy because if your opponent has a big board, this is just like once per turn. You can just rest 1 card and you can rest their some of their big bodies. Cost of 6 or less is like pretty big. Like a lot of decks are going to be running like characters that are like 4 cost, 3 cost, even 5 cost. This will be very, very menacing and pesky to deal with. Don Quixote Rocinante, 2 cost 1k blocker. Opponent's turn, if your rested character would be KO'd, you may trash this character instead. So it's kind of like, the thing about this is like, yes, it's a blocker, and it's like, well, I mean, you can just act as a blocker and get KO'd anyways, but it's like, if your opponent uses a removal effect to KO one of your characters, you can use this to take that spot instead. A little gimmicky maybe. I don't know if it'll be seeing a lot of play, but we'll see. Buffalo, 3 cost 4k. When attacking, once per turn, if you have 2 or more rested characters, set up to one of your rested characters with a cost of 1 as active. Pretty okay effect, I guess. Now Pika's pretty strong. 4 cost 6k. End of your turn, you pay 1 Dawn, restand this character, and once per turn, if this character would be KO'd, you may rest one of your characters with a cost of 3 or more other than Pika instead. So, I mean, that's very strong, right? Like, you basically, like, this card is going to be very difficult to get rid of, essentially. And it's a 4/6, so it's a pretty good stat line. It comes with a parallel, and it's so hard to take this guy seriously though. Like his voice, and when you hear his voice in the anime, like it's just so high pitched and squeaky. But yeah, and then we get baby 5. We get 2 baby 5 cards. One, she's as a child. Activate main, pay 1. You may rest this character, play up to 1 Don Quixote Pirate type character with the cost of 2 or less from your hand. So if you already have this out on the field, your next turn, you'll be able to play out a 2-cost character for less. So it's pretty decent. Baby 5, this is what we have been waiting for. This is the Don Quixote Pirates Searcher. 1 cost 1k, activate main, pay 1 Don. You may rest this character, look at the top 5 cards from your deck, reveal up to 1 Don Quixote Pirate type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's basically a Bonnie. And it gets a parallel, so very, very excited about that. Bellamy is a 3/5. Monet is a 3/1 blocker, and on block you can rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Yeah, pretty decent, I guess. I don't know why you would run this instead of Uta in the Don Quixote leader, but I guess if you're not running the film package, then you know this would be useful. 0 cost event, because the side of justice will be whichever side wins. Some of these names are getting quite long. Counter, you may trash 1 card from your hand and up to 1 of your leader characters gains plus 3k for the battle. And the trigger is rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. So, pretty decent. Charleston, KO counter, up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 4k during this battle. Then you may trash 1 card from your hand. If you do, set up to 3 of your down cards as active. Counter, up to 1 of your leader characters gains plus 4k, then KO to 1 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. Sticko Meteora. And Birdcage. Now, this is probably one of the most interesting cards in green. If your leader is Don Quixote do Flamingo, all characters with a cost of 5 or less do not become active in your and your opponent's refresh phases. End of your turn. If you have 10 Don cards on your field, KO all rested characters with the cost of 5 or less, then trash this stage. If you use this well, you can freeze your opponent's board and get rid of your opponent's board. Like, cost of 5 or less is pretty big. So this one, I'm excited to play this one. This is going to be really, really good. And yeah, that brings us back at the start of green. So I'll see you guys in the next video when we do blue. Thanks for watching.